Hello, and welcome. If you're someone who has diligently brushed and flossed your entire life, never missed a dental appointment, and yet still find yourself dealing with sensitive teeth, bleeding gums, or a yellowing smile, I want you to know you're not alone. It can be incredibly frustrating to do everything you've been told is right, only to feel like you're losing the battle inside your own mouth. Many of us are told that these issues, gum inflammation, stubborn plaque, and tooth discoloration, are just an inevitable part of getting older. But what if I told you that's not the whole truth? What if the solution isn't about brushing harder or using harsher chemicals, but about understanding how the biology of your mouth fundamentally changes after the age of 60? Today, we're going to explore a gentler, more effective approach to oral health, one that is deeply rooted in nature and increasingly backed by modern science. We'll be looking at why conventional methods often fall short for seniors, and how a simple, three-part ritual can help you not only reverse gum inflammation and stains, but also strengthen your teeth from the inside out. This isn't about a quick fix. It's about restoring the natural balance of your oral ecosystem. In this video, we're going to cover three key areas. First, uncover the hidden reason why plaque becomes so much more stubborn after 60. And it has less to do with your brushing technique than you think. Second, we'll walk through a simple, homemade oral rinse that works with your body's chemistry, not against it, to gently dissolve the shield that harmful bacteria hide behind. And finally, we'll reveal a crucial nutrient, often missing from Western diets, that acts like a traffic controller for calcium, ensuring it strengthens your teeth and bones instead of hardening in the wrong places, like your arteries. This approach is about working smarter, not harder. It's about nourishing your body's innate ability to heal itself. So, let's start with the big question. Why do so many of us struggle with oral health as we age, even with good hygiene? The answer might surprise you. For decades, we've treated oral health as a separate issue from the rest of our body. But leading institutions like Harvard Medical School and the Mayo Clinic have published extensive research showing a powerful, undeniable link between the health of your gums and the health of your heart, your brain, and even your immune system. Nearly 70% of adults over 65 inches in the United States have some form of periodontal disease. That's a staggering number, and for too long, we've brushed it off as a simple consequence of aging. But research tells us a different story. The quiet, chronic inflammation that starts in your gums doesn't stay there. Think of it as a silent alarm. The same bacteria that cause gums to become red, swollen, and bleed can enter the bloodstream. A landmark study published by the American Heart Association found that these specific oral bacteria have been discovered in the arterial plaque of patients with heart disease. This suggests that the inflammation in your mouth can contribute to the inflammation in your arteries, a key factor in heart attacks and strokes. It's not just a coincidence. It's a biological connection. The health of your mouth is a window into the health of your entire body. And this is where the conventional approach starts to break down for many older adults. The problem isn't that you've suddenly gotten lazy with your brushing. The problem is that the environment inside your mouth has changed. After 60, our bodies often produce less saliva. This condition, known as dry mouth or xerostomia, isn't just uncomfortable. It's a game changer for your oral health. Saliva is your body's natural mouthwash. It neutralizes acids, washes away food particles, and contains enzymes that fight harmful bacteria. When your mouth is drier, it becomes more acidic. And this acidic environment is the perfect breeding ground for the bacteria that form plaque. This brings us to the real enemy we're fighting. Plaque isn't just leftover food. It's a sophisticated, living structure called a biofilm. Imagine it as a tiny, fortified city built by bacteria to protect themselves from your toothbrush, your saliva, and even your immune system. According to the National Institutes of Health (NIH), the vast majority of bacteria in nature live in these biofilm communities. When your mouth is balanced and hydrated, it's harder for this biofilm to get a foothold. But in a drier, more acidic mouth. It's like giving these bacteria a permanent construction permit. They build their little city, and over time, that biofilm absorbs minerals from your saliva and hardens into tartar, or calculus. This is the hard, yellowish deposit that you can't brush away yourself. It gets under the gum line, causing inflammation, and creating pockets where more bacteria can hide and thrive. This is the root cause of gingivitis and, if left unchecked, more serious gum disease. So, if you're scrubbing away and still not seeing results, it's because you're fighting the symptom, the plaque, without addressing the root cause, the environment that allows it to flourish in the first place. You can't scrub your way out of a chemical imbalance. You have to shift the terrain, and that's exactly what we're going to learn how to do. So, if aggressive scrubbing and harsh chemicals aren't the answer, what is? How can we gently and intelligently shift the conditions inside our mouths so that this stubborn plaque simply can't keep coming back? The answer lies not in force, but in chemistry. The first and most powerful step is to change your mouth's pH. The harmful bacteria that build plaque and cause gum inflammation thrive in a low pH, acidic environment. But when you make the mouth more alkaline, that protective biofilm, the very foundation of plaque and tartar, begins to weaken and dissolve. This leads us to our first method, a simple, homemade oral paste made from 3 natural ingredients that work together to rebalance your mouth without stripping your enamel or destroying your beneficial bacteria. The cornerstone of this paste is a humble ingredient you likely already have in your kitchen: baking soda. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. For years, there has been a misconception that baking soda is too abrasive for teeth. But this is only true if it's used incorrectly, scrubbed harshly with a dry, hard-bristled brush. When used properly, as a gentle paste mixed with water, it's one of the safest and most effective oral health tools available. In fact, research published in the Journal of the American Dental Association has confirmed that baking soda is one of the least abrasive cleaning agents you can use, far gentler than many commercial toothpastes. Its true power isn't in its texture, it's in its alkalinity. Think about what happens after you eat bread, crackers, or have a sugary drink. Your mouth becomes an acidic playground for bacteria. Baking soda works by instantly neutralizing those acids on contact. This does 2 critical things. It stops the plaque-forming bacteria in their tracks, and it creates the ideal alkaline environment for your enamel to remineralize, which is your body's natural process for repairing microscopic damage to your teeth. You're not attacking your teeth. You're creating the perfect conditions for them to heal themselves. The second ingredient is hydrogen peroxide, but it is crucial that you use it in a very specific, safe, and diluted form. We are only talking about a few drops of 3% food-grade hydrogen peroxide, the kind you find in any pharmacy. The Cleveland Clinic highlights its long-standing use as a gentle antiseptic. When this diluted peroxide mixes with the bacteria in the biofilm, it releases tiny oxygen bubbles. This process, called oxidation, is incredibly effective. First, the bubbling action physically helps to loosen and break apart the sticky structure of the biofilm. Second, many of the most destructive bacteria linked to gum disease are anaerobic, which means they cannot survive in an oxygen-rich environment. So, with just a few drops, you are creating an atmosphere where the harmful microbes simply can't thrive, all while gently whitening your teeth by lifting surface stains. The third and final ingredient is clove oil. For centuries, clove has been a trusted remedy for toothaches, and modern science now shows us why. The primary active compound in clove oil is called eugenol, which is a powerful natural anti-inflammatory and antiseptic. Research available through the National Institutes of Health, NIH, confirms that eugenol is remarkably effective at disrupting the formation of bacterial biofilms. In simple terms, it makes it much harder for that plaque city to build and maintain its protective walls, while also soothing any existing gum inflammation. Together, these 3 ingredients don't just clean your teeth on the surface. They work synergistically to change the entire chemistry of your mouth, guiding it back toward a state of natural, healthy balance. This is why it's so much more effective than just scrubbing. It addresses the root cause. So, how do you use this in your daily life? It's very simple. For a daily balancing rinse, before you go to bed, mix half a teaspoon of baking soda in a small glass of warm water. Swish with it gently for 30 to 60 seconds, and then spit it out. Try not to rinse with plain water afterward. This leaves a beautifully alkaline, protective environment in your mouth overnight. This is especially important because nighttime is when our saliva production drops, leaving our mouths most vulnerable to acid attacks from bacteria. For a gentle polishing paste, 2 to 3 times per week, in the palm of your hand or a small bowl, mix about half a teaspoon of baking soda with just 2 to 3 drops of 3% food-grade hydrogen peroxide and 1 single drop of pure clove oil. Add a tiny bit of water to form a loose, thin paste. Using the softest toothbrush you can find, gently apply the paste to your teeth and along your gum line in slow, deliberate circles. Remember, this is about application, not abrasion. Let the ingredients sit for a minute, allowing them to do their chemical work. Then rinse your mouth thoroughly with water. This approach is the polar opposite of many commercial mouthwashes that rely on a high alcohol content. While those products kill bacteria, they also severely dry out your mouth, which, as we've learned, disrupts your saliva's protective function and can make the underlying problem even worse over time. This natural method supports your body's defenses instead of overwhelming them. This first step is foundational. It's about creating balance. But what about repairing some of the damage that may have already occurred? For those who are dealing with tooth sensitivity or are concerned that their enamel has thinned over the years, there's another remarkable mineral, backed by decades of clinical use in Japan and now gaining recognition in the U.S., that can help your body actually rebuild your teeth's natural armor. For those who want to go deeper, to not just neutralize the plaque, but to actively help rebuild what time and acidity have worn away, I want to introduce you to a mineral called hydroxyapatite. That may sound like a complex scientific term, but it is actually one of the most natural substances in your body. In fact, hydroxyapatite makes up about 97% of your tooth enamel and 70% of the dentin, the core tissue of your teeth. It's quite literally the stuff your teeth are made of. So many of us have been led to believe that once enamel is gone, it's gone for good. We think of it like a piece of china that, once chipped, can never be made whole again. But this isn't entirely true. While you can't regrow large, lost chunks of enamel, your body is in a constant state of demineralization and remineralization. When your mouth is acidic, minerals are leached out of your teeth. When it's alkaline, minerals can be deposited back into them. The problem for many seniors is that the demineralization process has outpaced the remineralization process for years, leading to microscopic cracks, thinning enamel, and that dreaded tooth sensitivity when you drink something hot or cold. Hydroxyapatite works by giving your body the exact building blocks it needs to tip the scales back in favor of repair. Think of it like this. If your enamel is a brick wall, years of acid attacks have created tiny cracks and holes in the mortar. Hydroxyapatite particles are the perfectly sized bricks and fresh mortar needed to patch those holes. When you use a toothpaste or powder containing it, these tiny particles are drawn to the damaged areas of your teeth, bonding directly with your natural enamel to fill in those microscopic fissures. It's what scientists call a biomimetic material. It mimics the body's own biology to facilitate healing. This isn't a New Age wellness trend. In Japan, hydroxyapatite has been the gold standard in clinical dentistry and toothpaste since the 1970s. And now, decades of international research, including studies reviewed by the U.S. National Institutes of Health, NIH, are confirming what Japanese dentists have known for a long time. Hydroxyapatite is incredibly effective at remineralizing enamel, reducing tooth sensitivity, and even preventing cavities, often with an effectiveness comparable to fluoride. But here's a key difference that is especially important for many people. Unlike fluoride, hydroxyapatite is completely biocompatible and non-toxic if accidentally swallowed. Your body recognizes it because it's already a part of you. This makes it a wonderfully safe option for those who are sensitive to fluoride or simply prefer to use ingredients that work in seamless harmony with their body's natural processes. This is powerful because it shifts our perspective from simply preventing further damage to actively participating in restoration. For anyone who has been told there's nothing you can do about your sensitive teeth, this offers a great deal of hope. The repair process is slow and steady, not flashy, but it's real. Patients who use it consistently often report a noticeable reduction in sensitivity within a few weeks. Over months, their teeth feel smoother and look glossier, as the microscopic cracks on the surface are filled in. So, how can you incorporate this into your routine? There are two simple ways. First, you can look for toothpastes that specifically list hydroxyapatite or nanohydroxyapatite in their ingredients. More and more brands, especially in the natural health space, are now offering it. The second option, which I find gives you more control, is to buy it in its pure powder form. You can find it online from reputable supplement or dental supply companies. Then, you can supercharge your homemade paste. When you mix your baking soda, peroxide, and clove oil, simply add a small pinch of the hydroxyapatite powder into the paste. That's it. It becomes part of that gentle, twice-weekly polishing ritual we discussed. Consistency is far more important than quantity. You're not trying to force change. You're providing a steady supply of the raw materials your body needs to do its own healing work. This theme of steady, gentle support is at the heart of everything we're discussing today. We've balanced the mouth's pH from the outside and provided the building blocks for enamel repair. But to create true, lasting oral health, we must also nourish our teeth and gums from the inside out. And that brings us to the third, and perhaps most profound, part of this ritual: the food you eat. Because what protects your teeth might just be the very same thing that protects your heart. Food is arguably the most overlooked, yet most powerful pillar of oral health. What you eat shapes the very structure of your teeth and the resilience of your gums from deep within. We often think of sugar as the main dietary villain for our teeth, and it certainly is a problem. But what's often missing from the conversation is what we need to add to our diet to build a strong oral foundation. And that brings us to a vital nutrient, vitamin K2. This isn't the same as vitamin K1, which is found in leafy greens and is known for blood clotting. Vitamin K2 has a completely different and profoundly important job. It acts as a master regulator for calcium in your body. Think of it as a traffic cop. When you consume calcium from dairy, supplements, or vegetables, your body needs instructions on where to send it. Without a director, calcium can end up in the wrong places, hardening in your arteries, a condition called atherosclerosis, or forming tartar in your gum pockets. Vitamin K2 is the traffic cop that stands at the crossroads and directs calcium to where it's needed most, into your bones and your teeth. It does this by activating two key proteins. One, called osteocalcin, pulls calcium from the blood and binds it into your bone and dentin matrix, making them stronger and denser. The other, called matrix GLA protein MGP, is a potent inhibitor of soft tissue calcification. It essentially patrols your blood vessels and gums, preventing calcium from being deposited there. This concept isn't just theory. It's backed by significant research. A major population study from the Netherlands, known as the Rotterdam Study, followed thousands of adults for a decade. It found that participants with the highest intake of vitamin K2 were over 50% less likely to develop severe aortic calcification and had a significantly lower risk of dying from heart disease. This is a stunning confirmation of the connection between a nutrient vital for oral health and one vital for cardiovascular health. Johns Hopkins Medicine has also highlighted the growing body of evidence suggesting that what's good for our bones is often what's good for our hearts. The bacteria that form tartar in your mouth are directly linked to the plaque that can build up in your arteries. By ensuring calcium goes to your teeth and not your arteries. Vitamin K2 is working on two fronts to protect your whole body health. So, where do we find this incredible nutrient? The traditional Japanese diet is famously rich in K2 from a food called natto, a fermented soybean dish. While it's incredibly healthy, its pungent taste and sticky texture aren't for everyone. Fortunately, there are more accessible sources for the Western palate. One of the best is grass-fed butter or ghee. When cows graze on rapidly growing green grass, they convert the vitamin K1 from the grass into vitamin K2, which is then stored in their fat. Other excellent sources include aged cheeses like Gouda, Brie, and Munster, as well as the yolks of pasture-raised eggs. The key here is pasture-raised, as, just like with cows, the nutrient profile of the eggs depends on what the chickens ate. Making small dietary shifts like choosing grass-fed butter, enjoying some aged cheese a few times a week, or ensuring your eggs come from happy, pasture-raised chickens can have a profound effect over time. It's not about radical elimination. It's about thoughtful addition. It's about restoring a nutrient that our modern, highly processed food system has largely stripped away. And when you restore it, you may notice your gums feel firmer, your breath improves, and your teeth just feel stronger, because you're finally building from the inside out. And so, as we bring our conversation to a close, let's quickly recap the 3 gentle yet powerful steps we've covered today. First, we learned to shift the environment of our mouth from acidic to alkaline. Instead of attacking plaque with harsh chemicals, we can gently dissolve its protective shield by using a simple, nightly rinse with warm water and baking soda, and a gentle polishing paste a few times a week. This creates a terrain where harmful bacteria simply can't thrive. Second, we discovered that we can help our body actively repair and remineralize our teeth. By adding a pinch of hydroxyapatite powder, the very mineral our enamel is made of, to our routine, we can provide the building blocks needed to fill in microscopic cracks, reduce sensitivity, and restore our teeth's natural strength and luster. And third, we looked inward, focusing on nutrition as the true foundation of oral health. By incorporating vitamin K2-rich foods like grass-fed butter, aged cheeses, and pasture-raised egg yolks, we empower our body to direct calcium into our teeth and bones, where it belongs, while helping to keep it out of our arteries. You see, you have so much more power over your oral health than you've been led to believe. It's not about fighting a losing battle against aging. It's about learning to work in harmony with your body's incredible, innate wisdom. These are not drastic measures. They are small, consistent rhythms of care that, over time, can create profound and lasting change. Real healing doesn't come from force or from fear, but from gentle consistency, deep nourishment, and a belief in your body's ability to restore itself. I'd love to hear from you. Which of these simple habits feels like the easiest and most exciting one for you to start with? Is it the nightly alkaline rinse, the idea of rebuilding enamel, or adding more K2-rich foods to your meals? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Your journey can inspire someone else. If this conversation was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more trusted, science-backed health secrets for living your best. A strongest life after 60. Thank you for spending this time with us today. Be well.